What's good, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Um, it's been good, man. I hope you all have had a pleasant week thus far. And we're going to go ahead and get into the conversation tonight. So, tonight we're going to talk about the most recent episode by Tyler Perry's Sistas, episode 20, titled What Goes Around. Go ahead and grab you something to drink and sit back as we get into this discussion tonight. It started off where we left off the previous week inside of Danny's apartment. So we have Danny, we have Sabrina, and of course we got Q, who's coming out of the bathroom at this time, butt ass naked, asking for some mouthwash. So Sabrina, of course, who's, she's excited to tell Danny about the news for Maurice getting out, and Q is there. And, I'm a little bit new to this show, but I went back and looked at a lot of the episodes, but there have been a ton of episodes that this man's name could have been introduced into the picture, but it never did. So at this point, Danny finally finds out who this guy is. This is the guy that robbed the bank. This is also the guy that set Maurice and I up and sent us to jail over a crime that we did not commit. So that was one thing. But this is also the same nigga that was and has been getting in with Maurice. So the reaction that Danny had, I don't think, just for my sake, I don't think it wasn't real enough for me for this situation to go down as it did. It was a lot more comical than I thought it should have been. Number one, Danny has a serious problem. Beautiful woman, absolutely beautiful woman. But two things for me as a man: her attitude stinks. And secondly, her choice of man is ridiculous. And I'm not even going to talk about the fact that she just brings random guys to her house. It just irks me to the core. And then you bring this guy in, and that's the most dangerous part of this. You're bringing people into your house. They know where you live, and you're comfortable with bringing these guys to your house. And like, you slept with this nigga, and yeah, you said you used protection, but I'm not sure. Like, I'm just being dead serious. And then another key part that was introduced here, and I think the only serious part that I could take from this part of the show was the fact that Sabrina was actually concerned. And then she also mentioned that this reminded her of when Sabrina and Danny and the rest of them were in college together. And so obviously this has been a track record for her before previously. So I'm interested in where that storyline is going. But the way that this whole situation went down was unrealistic to me, just for me. But leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. So next we see Andi coming into the office wearing the hell out of that yellow outfit she got on, looking gorgeous as usual. And I'm not really going to get into the scene because it was not really needed. But then she goes to see Robin. Andi sits down and she's like, is everything okay? And he was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But she could tell something was bothering him. So he pretty much just, as she asked him the question, he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you. And he was like, well, I had another conversation with the guy that loaned me the money. And I just have to ask you pretty much, did you have anything to do with this? And she was like, no, why would you ask that question? And And I was thinking the same thing, but then I was like, nah, that nigga of yours done called, and that's exactly what he said. He was like, he called him. Now, Andy knew exactly who he was talking about when he said he called. Like I said in the previous couple of videos, Andy doesn't have the best poker face. She's very easy to read. So when he said he called him, she knew exactly who he was talking about. So pretty much, he knows that Gary knows who he got the money from. And that's another reason why I didn't want him to give up the information too soon. Because Gary and Hayden, they are, man, like ridiculous, man. And we'll talk a little bit about them later on. So now we head over to Sabrina's apartment where she lets Calvin into her house, and she's excited to give him the information that she has the money to get Maurice out of jail. And Calvin is excited. You can tell he's excited that Maurice is able to get out of jail. But at the same time, you see a look of concern on his face because he knows that he wasn't able to do it for her, and she had to go to another nigga to get the job done. Not only that, it was $1.5 million. And he and I both know that, look, okay, let's be all honest here. We all grown folks here. Listen, am I the only one that's just thinking, when is Bayo going to come back and he going to say, all right, look, I gave you $1.5 million. I'm looking for that 5. Like, you got to give me something. Like, yeah, going out to eat is fine. I get that. But at the same time, this brother is looking for something. I still don't trust him. I'm just dead serious. And I know how Tyler Perry is, man. He's petty like that, man. So I'm just, I know I'm not the only one out there in TV land that's thinking like something ain't right with this nigga. But I may be the only one. But Calvin knows something isn't right, and most importantly, he knows that he wasn't the man. He wasn't the one that she felt like she could go to get the money, and that's really, this dude likes her, man. I think I would even go so far to say that he loves this woman, but he knows that she's not checking for him right now. It is what it is. Maybe she'll circle back around, but we'll see what Tyler Perry has in store. So next we head back over to Andy's office where she and Fatima have a discussion about what transpired the previous night with Karen and that whole situation. And Andy pretty much conveys to her, hey, everything went down well. Karen apologized. Fatima was like, oh, really? And she was like, oh, yeah. So everything seems good on both parties. Andy also asked her when she went. She said, well, I went home. And she was like, well, how did that go? She was like, it went well. And so pretty much everything is kumbaya. So we can go on and move past all of the rest of that because that was not really needed. And then Hayden comes up with his new girl and introduces her to the non-acting chick out there at the secretary desk. So that was pretty much it in that scene. So, all right, so next we go from Andy's office and Fatima talking to Fatima now calling Zach to tell him pretty much that he needs to make everything right with Karen. He's been very generous with her, but if, just for safety, go ahead and give her a call or go see her and apologize to her in person because you were wrong. And I think that nigga has already apologized enough, man. Look, Karen has already signed her name on the dotted line. I mean, what's the point at this point? I mean, say your words, I've apologized, and move on. But I guess Fatima is trying to be, overtly safe about the whole situation. But as I think most guys will feel the way I feel, like, why do you keep sending me over here to talk to this girl that you honestly have a problem with? That's the reason why we're in this daggone predicament to begin with. Can I say another daggone thing? Look, why is it always the crazy ones? Why is it always the ones with issues? They got that fire. The only reason why Zach is even entertaining this conversation right now and trying to keep Fatima happy is because she got that fire. That's all he tried to keep her. He tried to keep her calm so she could come back home. Listen, ladies, that's all it is for us. Like, let's keep it 100. All right. So I feel like he's gonna do it. I just think it's gonna cause problems later on. And I'm just happy to see both of them back at it, man, doing them, man. So we'll see how it turns out in the next episode. So I'm going to leave it at that. All right, so let's take a step back very quickly. So after last week's episode, there were 3 big things that I was interested in seeing how they were going to play out in this week's episode. The first thing was the situation with Danny, Sabrina, and Q, how that situation was going to play out. Secondly, the next thing I was thinking about was the whole situation with Fatima's baby's father. Like, that whole situation at the end of the preview, that was really on my heart, and I even wanted to make a whole different video. I might still do that, a whole different video on that. And then the last thing that I was interested in was how this situation, this scenario was going to play out with Gary, Hayden, and Robin. Let me just tell you this. When I saw this boss sit behind the desk with his back against the wall, I said, this nigga about to hold it down. And I told somebody else that I was talking to about it. I can't remember if it was my wife or not, but I said, this ain't gonna go down like these niggas expect. See, they came in here like they had this all in the bag. And Robin sat there and he listened. But every time they came at him, he had something different. So let's go ahead and break it down. So they came into his office, confident as hell, ready to, put it all out there on the table for him. And he pretty much says to him, I ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So they come to him and say, hey, they had a meeting. They decided to go about $10 million. So if that's the case, then you need to bring $3 million to the table. So initially, Robin is like, what? Okay. But if you would have caught it, when he had the conversation with Andy, he stated that he had a conversation with the loan shark, right? So the guy said he wanted more money back. He wanted more interest. But he said, if you give me the money back today, then I will only charge you 10%. What I'm really thinking, what went down is that Robin, after having a conversation with the guy, pretty much said, okay, give me a little bit more money so I can have it, just in case something goes down. These niggas try to raise the stakes here. So he pretty much knew what the ball game was. Gary thought, after he had the conversation, obviously, that it was over and that Robin didn't have any way out. But that wasn't the case. So this is the part that cracked me up. So the look on these niggas' face when he said, all right, I don't have to do nothing, pretty much. He said, if you've read the contract, he gave him the paragraph, what to look at. Hayden was like, oh, I forgot about that. Nigga, if you're going to come in there and play big game, then you need to bring big game. You didn't even know all the facts about the contract. How can you come into my office and tell me what I'm going to have to do if you don't have all the cards on the table? I mean, these niggas are ridiculous if you ask me. All this back and forth is so, I know somebody might get mad at me, but that's a female trait, bruh. Real niggas are not doing this. Now, there are some petty guys out there, but let's count it for real. Real dudes out here are not doing this. And I hate that, and I know these guys are acting these roles, but I hate how Tyler Perry has them looking on this show. But anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox with that, man. But I just feel some type of way about it. But pretty much, he pretty much said, I don't have to do anything. And they was like, oh, no, you know what I'm saying? And they was like, oh, no, 30 days too long. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, okay. Now, this is the one thing that I love right here, y'all. When that man said, all right, how about today? How about 5 o'clock today? I was like, oh, shit. I said, all right, brother. All right, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you boss up. And to see the look on their faces, man, when that man said that, and then Gary gonna come back in there and talk about, yeah, it better be by 5 o'clock. Man, sit down, nigga. I'm about to have your girl, and you about to lose your girl at the same time. How does that song go? I wear Gucci, I wear Bunny at the same damn time, on the phone cooking dough at the same. That's what Robin is about to do on the joke. He's about to say, I'm about to take your girl and I'm about to take your money at the same. I applaud you, Robin, on this episode. You stood up for the team, bro. So let's go ahead and move to the next scene, man. Man, I'm enjoying that. I enjoyed that part right there, man. All right, so let's keep moving, man. All right, so the next thing we see is that non-acting secretary out there in the lobby, and Fatima asking her questions. We pretty much going to skip over this scene with Hayden's friend because it was not really needed. And, we already know she's on her job. She's going to get all his money, yada, yada, yada. We can go on and move to the next part, man. So if y'all don't mind, we're going to keep moving. So next we see Sabrina is up at the law firm, and she's coming to see Andy. She comes in, and she's excited about getting him out. And Andy pretty much instructs her how she can go about doing that. Once again, she asks her, how she was able to secure the funds. She conveyed that information with her, and she was like, okay, all right. Old boy, he must be really interested. Yeah, he really interested. Yeah, he real interested. Best believe that. I know I would be very interested if I gave a woman $1.5 million. Another thing is she shared the fact that Danny slept with old boy. So I guess they're going to do a little intervention, I guess on the next episode or probably next season. So we'll see. Moving on. So next we head over to Karen's salon where she's doing somebody's hair. Am I the only one that knows her hair wasn't moving? Karen was doing whatever she was doing to that lady's hair, man, but that woman's hair was not moving at all, bro. So, I don't even know what she was doing to it. But anyway, so, Aaron comes up there, brings her some food. He's direct with her, telling, pretty much, you're going to sit down and eat this food right now. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, all right, I'm going to go in there and sit down. You know what I'm saying? Even though I got another client waiting, he said, I don't want to hear nothing. They going to wait patiently. I love that, man. Take a little bit of control. Say it with your chest. Well, yeah, man, once again, that was another non-scene not needed, man. But, I guess it was a good feeling, man, show everything is in good order, man. So, yeah, I was glad that, he was able to bring her some food and she was able to get some nourishment, man. So, anyway, now we get to the point. Like I said, there were 3 big things that I was interested in finding out. So we get to the number 2 thing that I was really interested in finding out, and that was the whole situation with Fatima's baby's father, right? So we're back at Zach's house, and he gets a doorbell, and it's a dude. Now, the dude is a little awkward, just to me. You know what I'm saying? Because he comes and he's talking about, is Fatima here? Does Fatima live here? Yes, she lives here, but who are you? Now, once again, Tyler Perry has this man, Zach, acting a plumb fool. You don't have to be on level 10 immediately. Like, somebody comes to the door, and unless you're upset, nigga, you at home all day. Like, you come to the door, man. Come on, bro, calm it down a little bit. So he was like, well, who are you? So then, old boy's like, I guess he feels a little bit uncomfortable, at this point. So he was like, No, I just come back. Never mind, all that stuff. And then eventually, after, he hassles him a little bit more, he's like, well, I'm Fatima's baby's father. So Zach is like, what? Like, nigga, what? For real? Now, I can tell you already with that look in his mind, because every man in the world is sitting here thinking the very same daggone thing. What the hell are you talking about? Like, I'm trying to be good on this video. All the hell that I've gone through with Fatima over my situations. All the situations I got going on right now, Fatima is trying to tell me to go make things right with Karen, make things right with the little stripper and all this stuff, try to go over and beyond. But all along, you got a side baby? Now, come on, man. Now, from some of the videos that I've watched, a lot of people have talked about the whole Fatima or whatever that show is on BET Plus. I have not actually watched that show. I don't even, quite honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to watch the show. But at the same time, look, every nigga in the world had that same expression on his face when that man said, I almost said Fatima. I am Fatima's baby's father. What the hell? Like, bro. What? And she got the audacity to send me through all of this? Listen, man, look, I'm going to end it on this note. Man, tell me what you guys think about this episode. Please like and subscribe to the channel. But we got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We got a whole lot to talk about. But until next time, I'll see y'all later, man. Leave some comments. Tell somebody about this channel. Recap with Mo. Well, we get into all the discussions about everything a nigga watching over here, man. So, all right, until next time, see y'all soon. Peace.